Next question. Why do I too often see women, young and or blonde, and minority persons, black and Latinos, stopped in their cars for police traffic officers?
I don't know, maybe because you're looking for it. I don't know, but I can tell you that, let me just share a bit about what I call bias-based policing. I don't like the term racial profiling because that's too narrowly defined. I think any form of bias in police action is a matter of concern. And I will tell you that for probably 7 or 8 years, I've been working on efforts to minimize the chance that there can be bias-based policing. I've been involved on state task forces to address profiling. There recently, I don't know how many people saw a study that came out, I don't know if it was the end of April or May, it was a national study. And there were a couple of very interesting things that came out of it. And the first said that at the national level, the proportion of minorities versus Caucasians stopped by the police is pretty close to the ratio in the greater society. However, the proportion of searches subsequent to a traffic stop are disproportionately high for minorities. And then further perplexing that, there's a disproportionate level of contraband found when Caucasians are searched versus minorities. So at the national level, what that says is, we're not stopping people on the basis of bias, but once stopped, what's going on here? That we are searching minorities more than we are Caucasians, and when we do, we're not getting it right. So I think that's an issue that bears a lot more research. I invite any one of you to take a ride in a squad car and take a look at a car that whizzes by 20 miles over the speed limit, and you tell me what the race and gender and everything else about that driver is. It's kind of a myth that cops really know who they're stopping until after they turn the lights on. But if in any way race or gender or anything becomes a proxy for guilt or suspiciousness, it's absolutely dead spot wrong. So I don't believe in profiling on anything doing with appearance, whether it's your skin color or what you're wearing or how stupid your bumper sticker is. None of that should be a part of profiling or a basis for a stop. But there is a kind of profiling that I think is the essence of good police work. Behavioral profiling. Our job is to react to human behaviors. And when there are behaviors that are indicative of criminal conduct, then I expect our police officers to act on that. And that's why in the United States, in response to 9/11, we have TSA. Anybody here from TSA? Thousands standing around. We have TSA at the airports who follow arbitrary and random search profiles or protocols. But in Israel, where they've been dealing with this stuff for years, they look at behaviors. And they key in on behaviors of people that their pattern of behavior is a strong indicator that they might blow somebody up. Now that makes sense to me. And so, in any way, if we were to believe or to suspect, in fact, we have policies in place on bias-based policing. But here's something I'm struggling with. I, at the staff meeting last week, mentioned a change that I would like to make that will make it easier for us to monitor that ratio of traffic stops and to track our proportion or disproportionate stops and searches, just like what that national search talked about. And it was with a great deal of chagrin and frustration that I was told that our computer system will not do what I expect it to do. So here we are, you know, one of the top 50 cities in America, and we don't have a computer record system that will do what I think is a basic core function of tracking and monitoring performance by police officers. So, you know, I don't know if why your perception is that we have an inordinate number of minorities or women stopped, but I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that we're doing the data analysis that says who we're stopping either reflects behaviors. You know what? I don't really care what color somebody is if they go through a red light. They went through a red light. And I don't really care what sex you are if you smack somebody in the mouth. You know, you're an aggressor, you violated the law, it's a behavior that we're going to react to. And that's the kind of policing I think we owe you in the community.